Hi, I'm Alex. I'm one of the book bros, and today I'm going to be telling you about a story called Spells in Silence by Silently Watches. So the synopsis of Spells in Silence is, it's a Harry Potter story, right? So this is a female Harry Potter who's grown up completely mute, unable to speak. Harriet Potter is able to read minds. And so as she's living with the Dursleys, she ends up reading all the dark thoughts that her family has about her, and is like, holy shit, my family wants to kill me, I'm gonna get out of here. And she finds out, because she's like, oh, I can read minds, that's whatever, why can I do this, I don't know, until she reads her aunt's mind and finds out that her mother was a witch who could do magic. And so what this story seeks to do is put more mysticism and magic and mystery back into the whole magical system of Harry Potter. So Harriet Potter goes out and travels by herself while she's like 11, or not quite 11, she's like 10. And she goes out and travels and she's basically homeless, but using her magic in sort of more traditional styles. So she goes to Stonehenge and tries to learn some Druidism. She tries to make deals with fae creatures to get some, power. She ends up breaking her glasses at some point and tries to make a deal to fix her eyesight. And so she goes and she tries to experience what she believes is real magic. And so she's completely ignorant of the actual wizarding world, and so develops her own sort of magic. And it's absolutely engrossing how this world that you think you knew can actually be so deep and mysterious and just completely unexpected. My thoughts on the story, in case I didn't already spoil them a little bit, I actually really like this story. I find that it adds a whole lot of depth to the story that you normally otherwise wouldn't get, and it really enriches the experience by adding all this actual real world lore. Because what Harriet Potter ends up doing is going to all these real life sites and exploring what the magical side of it could have been like. So she goes to like haunted castles and finds zombies. She goes to forests that supposedly had a dragon being killed by someone, and there still may be a dragon's egg in it, and so she goes there looking for magic creatures. She ends up running into some of the magical threats of the world and realizing, oh shit, the world's actually dangerous. I can't just wander around without protection. And so she develops all these things that you would expect the wizarding world would have done, but that you never really see in the actual books. So it's just this whole complete novel, and it's still ongoing. It's still updating relatively frequently. The last update was February 16th, and today. Like, it literally updated today, the day I'm filming it, March 1st. So it's just absolutely amazing. My rating for this story, for plot, is actually only going to be a 3. That might come as a bit of a surprise, but the plot's kind of just sort of meandering. It's sort of Harriet Potter discovers magic in a more magical way than normal, than the actual books. So that can take place over a long period of time. That's like the main goal that's far off. Doesn't super get, accomplished. At least not 20 chapters in, which is a fair ways, but not yet. The subplot, however, all the characters she meets, all the tiny little adventures she has that are slowly starting to weave together into a bigger picture, that's a lot more interesting and a lot stronger. So I'd actually rate that a bit higher at like 4, because she meets some werewolves, some like people who are exiled basically from the wizarding world, and so she gets to meet with them, and you get to meet all these characters, and that whole subplot, because she leaves them after a while, is absolutely super engaging, because you get to deal with like the discrimination rampant in the wizarding world, the classism, the fear, and the disassociation with anything that's not sort of themselves, that's not other wizards. And that's just, the way that it's delved into is absolutely amazing. So like 4 stars there. The character development, again, that's basically this whole story. That's the main plot, is character development, kind of. And so that's actually going pretty well. I'd rate that at like 4.5 stars because Harry Potter leaves the house after just discovering magic and running away, and then quickly realizes the harsh realities of like living on the streets, even with magic, especially as like a 10-year-old. So I'd give that a 4.5. Writing. The writing itself is solid. There's no issues that you need to be aware of. And it's rated for teens, and it's written for teens as well. It's actually written in that style. So there's nothing crazy difficult to parse. So that's a 4.5 on the writing. Foreshadowing and plot holes. I feel like there's a couple plot holes simply because it's a story that's written over a long period of time. So there's bits and pieces that get forgotten over time. So you're like, oh, that could have been explored more. That foreshadowing never really went anywhere, so it's kind of a bit of a plot hole. So I'd give that a solid 3. And then just the overall rating would be a 4. I'd give it a 4, maybe a 3.5. It's solid. It's very interesting in a way that you normally don't see many stories like this. But it's nothing crazy like, oh, I gotta read it all the time. I'm super in love with it. It's good. It's a solid story that I'd recommend you check out if any of this sort of sounds interesting to you. So thank you for watching. I'm Alexz again, one of the Book Bros. Check out some of my other fan fiction or Stefan's translated novel reviews. Leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Did you like this story? Did you go and read it? Did it live up to the hype that I'm putting out? Let me know. I'll see you next time. Do a clap, sing, do 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 do. My thoughts on this story, yo. I don't like that.
No, I'm like, I didn't say anything. Like, he's editing this.